we have another young Indian with us today as part of the Voice of the Young series. Very happy to have with us Anushka Rathore. Over to you, Anushka.
So, first of all, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to you for giving me this opportunity to be a part of this young series. Definitely, it's helpful for me also and for all the young aspiring economists. So, first of all, I would like to give a brief introduction about myself. My name is Anushka Rathore. I am from Delhi. I have done my schooling from the Mothers International School, New Delhi. Then I did BA program in economics and English from University of Delhi, and then I'm currently pursuing my master's in economics from OP Jindal Global University in Sonipat, Haryana.
Okay,
So
which is
that
pretty
was
close to
my
Delhi, right? Sonipat is pretty close to Delhi, right? There's a little bit of freezing here. Hang on, let me pause.
sir. Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Yes, sir. So basically, that was my academic introduction, sir. And I'm currently pursuing my second year in my master's. And definitely, economics is a subject that I'd always liked because it's not only a theoretical subject, it also involves its application. And that is something that I've learned in my master's. I didn't, I did not pursue my economics honors from any other university in my bachelor's. And I never had any kind of a mathematics background. So definitely it was problematic for me because economics is a subject that you can't study without maths. But then I decided to pursue this during my second year of my graduation. I thought that no, I should make a career in this subject. And definitely then I did it.
Okay,
So yeah.
great. So, how's the mathematics now?
So it's much better than before because earlier I used to have a lot of problem, especially in the calculus part because I was not from that field and I never had any such kind of a professional education in it as I had not opted for that subject in my class 11. But then later on, as I started practicing on my own and started taking help from some of my professors, then definitely it has helped me a lot in economics.
Well, I'm glad you had such professors who didn't say, hey, you didn't do it, so why are you wasting my time? Instead, they helped you. Really happy
Yes, sir.
that we still have such teachers who are willing to go out of their way. Okay, so let's
Yes, sir. Yes,
continue.
sir. Yes, sir.
Let's continue.
Okay, sir. So, sir, basically, I have currently done two of my internships. One internship I did at Competition Commission of India. It's basically a regulatory body that aims to correct all the unfair practices that we usually get to see in the markets. So, this was my first internship from which I was basically I wanted to learn that how should we apply whatever the concepts that we try to learn in economics in the real world. So therein, I had to prepare a research report and I had to present it in front of the all the higher authorities of the institution. But then when I did the internship of NITI Aayog, like NITI Aayog is it's as we all know that it is a premier public policy think tank of the government of India. So therein, I interned in the trade and commerce, economics and finance vertical, G20 coordination. So my internship was basically done under Sanjeet sir and Gargi ma'am. Sanjeet sir is an IRS officer and Gargi ma'am is an Indian Economic Service officer. So therein, we not only had a role to just write research reports or just to present in front of the higher authorities that we usually tend to see in many of the organizations. In fact, we had a lot of things like we had to analyze government reports, we had to prepare those, like India has resumed G20 presidency this year. So we had to make a lot of research proposals, we had to analyze them, we had to discuss them with the higher authorities, we used to have meetings. So definitely, I felt that not only the young professionals or not only the officers of the institute, but we also interns were involved in this process of shaping our nation, of adding something towards its progress, of adding something towards its growth, its development. And I think these internships has helped me really a lot, and I really want to do more such internships in the future as well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Okay. And what about the courses? How are they?
So courses are definitely like in the first semester, I struggled a lot, especially because, as I said, I was not from mathematics background. So we had programming courses, we had microeconomics, macroeconomics, and every course was advanced to its level. And like even as I used to see my classmates, like they had already done maths before, so they were quite experienced. So then I used to earlier feel that maybe I mean, it is getting very difficult for me to survive. But since I always had an interest in economics, so that helped me to sail through in this first year. This year we have been offered electives. Like electives are basically the courses that we choose on our own choices. So this year I've chosen courses like time series, econometrics, labor market, and migration. So these courses involve both the mathematical content also, and they also involve a huge amount of learning of statistical softwares like Stata, R, Python, and all. And we also have the theoretical content also. So I think these subjects are helping me more, and I mean, through these subjects, I'm able to delve myself more into economics. That economics is not only generally restricted to micro or macro that we study in our undergrad. And what I've observed in that, even though I was not an economics honors student, but what I have observed is that there is a quite amount of difference that what we learn in our undergraduation and what we learn in our post graduation. Like even in the level of learning, also the concepts that are taught. So I think this time the second year seems to be more interesting than the first year, since we have the option of writing a dissertation as well, and we have these options of these times courses like time series, which will definitely help us to apply the concepts that we have learned so far in both our undergraduation as well as our post graduation. So that is
Okay.
the case.
All right. So let's go back to your college days.
Yes, sir.
The combination of economics and English, I think, is rare. Uh,
Yes,
so,
sir. Yes, sir. Definitely.
how did it fare for you? How did it go?
So actually, when I took economics and English at that point of time, I was a little confused as to whether I should pursue economics in my post graduation or English, because I was inclined towards both these subjects. But later on, as we started studying more and more, then I observed that I was more inclined towards economics than English, because I used to like the concepts that were being taught in economics. It's a subject that involves application also, thinking also. So because of that, I started feeling that no, I should pursue economics. Definitely challenges came, as everything has its challenge, but then we need to overcome it. That was the principle that I had always in my mind, and because of that, I chose to study this subject. And I want to read more and more economics papers. I like to read more and more articles also, because I think that the more we read, the more we are in a better position to be able to write. And so that is the case. So.
Okay, wonderful. All right. But I'm still curious. I mean, what did you get out of those courses in English that you took?
So in English, basically, we were taught mainly the literature section, both the literature, Indian literature also, like, and the world literature also. Like we had readings of Shakespeare also. Even we had Indian poems also, the poems that are being written by famous authors. So that has, I think, also helped me to enhance my vocabulary skills, to write more and more, to understand the concepts more. So English was also a subject that I liked very much in my undergraduation, though I'm not able to pursue it as my master's, but definitely I still like to read such articles, such things, because that also helps me to broaden up my concepts, enhance my breadth of knowledge. And I think those subjects are also something that one should pursue if they are really interested in pursuing them.
Okay. Well, most economists don't write well, but
Yes,
since
sir.
since I mean, it's the truth. they,
Yes,
they,
sir.
they can't get
But I
beyond.
think right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I think writing is an important part in economics also. Like as I've read many such papers also from noted economists. Like even if we read papers from Romer, or even if we read the solo growth model and everything. So the way they have researched, like if we read more, we'll be able to understand that how should we research. And I think research is the very first step that you need to undertake while writing a paper. Like empirical research analysis, we should do how to run a regression. I think these are the very basic things that an economist, and I mean any economic student should know at the very first basic outset, which many students lack to understand. Like these days also, people mostly tend to read 2 to 3 articles and they start writing it. I think we should first try to read more and more so that we're able to enhance our knowledge on that concept better. And then we should share our ideas, we should give our opinions definitely on that topic. I mean, this is a kind of an opinion that I have in my mind. So
Okay.
that's why I'm saying here.
Right. And your opinions are most welcome. This is the whole point, to hear what is
Yes,
on your mind. And
yes, sir.
what's okay, so what's the future?
Yes. So
Wow.
for future for me is definitely the whole purpose of doing masters in economics was that that I want to give Indian Economic Services examination right after my masters. I also want to be a civil servant because I want to do something towards the policy making process of the nation, towards the policy building process of the nation, and I want to contribute. I want to frame such. I want to be a part of such a body which is responsible for framing such policies that it can help to eradicate poverty from India, to eradicate hunger from India, to eradicate such issues that are still prevailing in our country and which makes it developing rather than being a developed nation. I also want to work in regulatory bodies, like as I said, when I worked in CCI and then when I worked in NITI Aayog, I never had this kind of a mindset that I should work in 10 organizations or 15 organizations to build up my CV. I always thought that even if I'm working at one place, I should learn something new from that place, which
Mm.
I never knew before. So
Hmm.
like CCI was a regulatory body. So
Yeah.
even though being an economics student, I learned about competition law as well. I learned about what are mergers, what is acquisitions. I learned
Yeah.
about the competition act. At least in a preliminary knowledge I gained after
Yeah.
doing that internship. So
Yeah.
definitely, yeah. And then when I did my internship in NITI Aayog, I came to know that how think tanks work in India, how
Yeah.
they play a pivotal role in
Yeah.
framing policies that definitely lead to the progress of our nation, that definitely leads to the economic development of our nation. So I want to work in the regulatory bodies also, like we have CCI, we have SEBI, Security Exchange Authorities Board of India, then we have PFRDA, we have SIDBI. I want to work in these bodies. I want to work in think tanks also, like NITI Aayog, like NIPFP. So I want to work in the corporate sector also because definitely I'm inclined towards working in the corporate as I want to work towards the data analysis part. I really like working towards the statistical softwares, be it R or be it Stata or be it Python. So I want to work in these sectors also. Like so, for basically at the very first outset, I want to work in the regulatory bodies. I want to work in the think tanks, and after that, in later, I would like to write a civil services examination as well. That is
Well,
my
it's very, very impressive, I must say. It's well thought out. And even though you didn't take mathematics, you have overcome that hurdle very well. And
Yeah, so
I
through this platform, I really want to tell the other students also, like there are many students who don't opt for mathematics, and then later they want to pursue economics as their higher studies. So I really feel that even if you haven't studied any subject, it's not that you can't do it on your own. Start practicing from now on. Also, if you stand up for yourself, then definitely you can succeed. This is the kind of a notion that I always believe in, and I always feel that if I can do something, then definitely others can also do.
that may not be true. that, if you can do well, you can do. What do you mean? Anyway, let's leave that aside. I think it's a very good message that mathematics is not something that you have to learn only in the class.
Yes,
At a
sir.
younger age, you can learn it later.
Yes, sir.
But you mean to say you didn't take it even in 11 and 12, or you?
So, neither in my graduation also, nor in my class 12. So then when I started preparing for the entrances and when I started, so like most entrances still have the eligibility that you need to have maths in your class 12 or
Right.
you need to have maths in your graduation.
Yeah.
So like I couldn't appear for those entrances, but for other entrances like Gokhale, like I got an admission offer from Gokhale Institute of Politics and Economics also for MSc in Health Economics and Population Studies also. So I think that if I started practicing maths on my own, and when earlier I struggled, I started watching YouTube videos. I started watching some sessions also wherein people teach maths so that I can at least learn. And then I started practicing concepts on my own. And through that, I was able to clear some of the exams also. So my maths was earlier a little difficult. I won't say that it wasn't. Yes, I'll admit that. But then as soon as I started practicing, it became easy for me.
Okay, let's hear one concept that you learned on your own. I'm curious. You say you were watching some YouTube videos. Was any place that you really picked up something because of a YouTube video? Do you remember, or do you know the channels that were very helpful to you, or something that others could follow?
So I think Khan Academy is very famous for mathematics. It has a good set of videos. And definitely these days, if somebody wants to learn mathematics for classes 11th and 12th, then Unacademy is also one of the good apps that you can learn from. They also provide slides free of cost to the students who want to learn not only just mathematics, but even other subjects as well that people usually have in their class 12, like physics, chemistry, and science, physics, chemistry, and biology. So I think Khan Academy is very good for mathematics. One should follow that definitely.
Khan Academy is very good. There's no question about, and it's
Uh,
free, right? It's free.
Yeah, it's free of cost. Unacademy, Vedantu, and there are many other apps also which are free of cost, and they also even provide the videos also and the course material also for these students that they can study from it and they can practice alongside whatever they are studying in their schools or whatever they are studying in their colleges. And not only for mathematics, even like if somebody wants to prepare for civil services examination or for Indian economic services examination also, these days people tell about their journey, they tell the sources also, the book list also to which they refer to. So I think YouTube these days is helping a lot of students to gain knowledge from those resources, from those sites. And I think that can help any student, even if he or she is studying on their own, even if they are doing self study to for the civil services examination or for either other competitive examinations as well. YouTube has a good set of videos for which they can refer to and they can gain an insight for those subjects.
Okay, wonderful. Anything else you want to add at this point?
No, sir, that's it from my side.
That's it. Okay, wonderful. So good to have you here. And
So if you want to ask me any other thing also, I'm ready to answer that as
no,
well.
it is not my job to ask. It's your job to think of what you want to say. And
Yes,
I
sir.
don't want to be guiding the people because then I might as well do the talking. But it's rather your chance to say whatever it is on your mind. And
So I think that when I joined, like when I'm from OP Jindal Global University. So I think that like in my college they had introduced the course recently, like around 3 to 4 years back. So very few students know about pursuing a master's program in it, as most of the students prefer ISI or DSC also. So when I was joining my college, then definitely I was also quite apprehensive about this fact that whether I should join it or not, because there's some kind of a reputation attached to some certain colleges, and definitely we tend to follow them on the basis of their rankings or on the basis of their stellar performances that we usually tend to see in them. But then when I joined my college, I felt that the professors are really helping. They like in my college also, like the students like from my batch itself, some of them want to work in the corporate sector, some of them want to work towards the government sector, some are inclined towards think tanks, some want to work towards other organizations as well, and some even also want to pursue their PhD, their research right after their masters. So I think that has also definitely helped me to gain a more insight that what exactly I can do right after my masters and what all economics contains. So that has also helped me a lot in expanding my knowledge. So really, I would like to. So that's why I think that college also plays a really bigger role in shaping ourselves, in shaping our intrinsic personality.
okay, how far is it? Sonipat is pretty close, right? I mean, it's really part of.
Yes, so yes, so usually yes, so it's very near to us, but it's since our college is a fully residential campus, so definitely we need to we need to live there. So we live in hostels, but the students who are from Delhi, they can come home on weekends. So that is the biggest advantage that is attached to the Delhi students, as they can come home every weekend. So I think that is one of the biggest advantage that I have
So you can go
from
and
the
eat
students
your,
who are.
you can go and eat food at home, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, wonderful. All right. Anything else you want to tell us at this point?
Sir, that's all from my side.
Okay, fine. Thank you so much. Maybe we'll catch up with you 1 year from now to see what
Yes,
you are
sir.
doing. And for the
Yes, sir.
moment, let's say bye to the
So
viewers.
definitely, I would want your guidance in the future. Definitely.
Okay, fine. We can take care of it. But at the moment, let's say bye to the viewers,
Yes,
and
sir.
I'll be
Okay.
back with another young person or an expert soon. Till then,
Okay.
bye.
Bye. Bye. Thank you, sir.